Shalom, Mishpachah. That is to say, peace, family. It's your brother Bethel back again with another talking point. And this is, we're not going to go over any scriptures right now. I just want to make a point, give y'all some food for thought, all right? As many of you know, something is up with society the way it is. Um, Looking at the world the way it is today, juxtaposed to how it was in 2007 to compare to how it was in 1997, how it was to in 87, right? And how it was into 77, and then 67 and 57 and 47, all right? And where we're going in 2027, all right? The world is a lot. The landscape, you don't need me to tell you this, but we know the landscape is totally different. The dating market, if you want to call it that, as people call it, is different. The housing market is different. The job fields, the once upon a time, you could support a family with a high school diploma, right? As high school graduation rates increased, right? They moved the bar. Then you started to need just then you needed an associate. Too many of us was getting associates. Then you needed a bachelor's. Now you need a master's. Oh, too many of us got masters. Now you need also job experience. But if you've been in school the past 12 years, post probably high school, you don't have the job experience. So how do you now get a job to support these the student aid loan, right? You now have this debt, no job to pay the debt, and it just sets us on a course for what the heck do we do next, right? Um, I want to, I want y'all to see, I want y'all to see a video, and I'm gonna make a point after this video, okay? It's something I saw yesterday night. Just check it out. Let me flip my camera around. Be right back. All right, so I'm gonna play this video. Let me get my. There we go. So play this video. All right, and I want y'all to peep something.
I am a six-figure earner, and this inflation is kicking my butt. None of my
She's a six-figure earner. I want y'all to keep that in mind off bat.
my normal expenses, like my house, my car, those payments have not changed. However, the grocery bills, the electricity, the things that like were very small that were on auto pay can no longer be that. And I'm at a point where I had to have a conversation with ChatGPT about what would be the effects if I stopped paying two of my largest debt payments that I'm making. And you know what ChatGPT said? Do it.
What? All right, this is getting way out of hand. Hell! Yeah, that's crazy. So she talked to Chat GPT. What should I do with this debt? Should I pay my bill or not? Chat GPT said,
we don't need their commentary. See, give me fast because they're gonna talk about her. Really, to be honest, I don't need to actually go forward in this video. That's all I want. I'm gonna run it back again. All right, I'm gonna run it back from the beginning so y'all can hear that again.
I am a six-figure earner, and this inflation is kicking my butt. None of my normal expenses, like my house, my car, those payments have not changed. However, the grocery bills, the electricity, the things that like were very small that were on auto pay can no longer be that. And I'm at a point where I had to have a conversation with ChatGPT about what would be the effects if I stopped paying two of my largest debt payments that I'm making. And you know what ChatGPT said? Do it.
What? All right, this is getting...
Now, if I were to fast forward, she goes on to eventually say she's tired of all of her money going to bills and she has nothing. She's six-figure earner. She says she makes well over $120,000 a year. She lives in a small house. She says she drives a Kia. And she says it's not enough. She's still living check to check. So she's gonna let the loans pass, and then when the credit people call to offer her a settlement, she's gonna just pay that, and then it'll be off her credit. She says in 7 years. This was her logic. Okay, keep that in mind. Let me find this one other video, and I'll be right back. Here it is. We just want her segment. All right.
I'm an exhausted single.
Shout out to the content reviewers, Single by Choices. Feel free to check out their content. I find it entertaining.
Mother living in California, paying $2,000 for rent, and I feel like I am drowning.
Let me run it back.
I'm an exhausted single mother living in California, paying $2,000 for rent, and I feel like I am drowning. I am drowning in debt. What I was chasing, what I thought I wanted in my life as far as marriage and children and fame and success, I don't want any of that anymore. I just want to be able to live.
Yeah, just want to live. She paying $2,000 a month. This is the most important time in history for our Black melanated sisters to be with a resourceful, respectable man and fall up under his instruction. Fall like you done fell off a cliff. Fall up under his damn instructions and shut your mouth.
It's over. It's over. Y'all got to take what y'all can get at this point. Shout out to...
All right, so keeping with the brother up here, Gavin, his last statement in mind. Now, let me get this off the screen. All right. So the point I want to make behind that, right? I said I wasn't going to go to a scripture, but I'm gonna go to a scripture. All right. A scripture should be the only one. And the point is going to be in verse 6. The book of Matthew, chapter 19, and verse 3. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he, Yeshua, answered and said unto them, Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore Elohim hath joined together, let not man put asunder. The point again is in verse excuse me, verse 5. My bad. And he said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, be joined to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. Wherefore what Elohim hath joined together, let not man put asunder. Now this is just Brother Bethel's 2 cents on the matter, okay? You may have a differing point of view, but just take it in food for thought, all right? Now, the only reason you should be leaving the house, society says put them out by 18. What do you know at 18? You just graduated high school, and now you're going to go live on your own. It says they twain shall be one flesh, right? This is the reason a man leaves his house, as well as a woman, is when you're going to be cleaving to your spouse, your husband or your wife. Till then, you should be, if you're a good kid, you should be at home with your parents, helping them as they, if you're not married, helping them age, assisting them as they age. When it gets too hard to bend over, you should be there picking things up, grabbing things from up top of the shelf, helping to keep the house up, right? It's supposed to be a village. Shoot, when you move out, you really probably should be moving up the block, around the corner, not to another country, not to another state, right? Remember in the scripture, when Tobit was leaving, matter of fact, let me get that, bro. Let me get that. Still trying to find it. Where's that passage at? I found it. So this is in Tobit. Hallelujah. Tobit chapter 6. And this is when the angel Azarias, who is Raphael, came to Ekbang. So in Tobit 6, Raphael, who is called Azarias, comes to Ekbang to bring Tobias to wife Sarah, or excuse me, Edna. I mean, no, excuse me. My apologies. We are talking about Sarah. Let me just read it. I don't read Tobit enough, but okay. All right, this is Tobit chapter 6. It says, and verse, let me just start at verse chapter 5. Verse 4. Therefore, when he went to seek a man, he found Raphael, that was an angel, but he knew not. And he said unto him, Canst thou go with me to Rages? And knowest thou those places well? To whom the angel said, I will go with thee, and I know the way, for I have lodged with our brother Gabel. Then Tobias said unto him, Tarry for me, till I tell my father. Then he said unto him, Go and tarry not. So he went in and said to his father, Behold, I have found one which will go with me. Then he said, Call him unto me, that I may know of what tribe he is, and whether he be a trusty man to go with thee. So he called him, and he came in, and they saluted one another. Then Tobit said unto him, Brother, show me of what tribe and family thou art. To whom he said, Dost thou seek for a tribe or a family, or an hired man to go with thy son? Then Tobit said unto him, I would know, brother, thy kindred and name. Then he said, I am Azarias, the son of Ananias the great, and of thy brethren. Then Tobit said, Thou art welcome, brother. Be not now angry with me, because I have inquired to know thy tribe and thy family, for thou art my brother, and of an thou art my brother of an honest and good stock. For I know Ananias and Jonathas, sons of the great Samaeas, as we went together to Jerusalem to worship, and offered the firstborn and tenths of the fruits, and they were not seduced with error of our brethren. My brother, thou art of a good stock. Talking about Raphael, who is Azarias. Chapter 6. And we're gonna get to the point, verse 10. Verse 9. And when they were come near to Rages, the angel said to the young man, Brother, today we shall lodge with Raguel, who is thy cousin. He also hath one only daughter named Sarah. I will speak for her, that she may be given thee for a wife. For thee doth the right, for to thee doth the right of her appertain, seeing thou art of her kindred, and the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me, and I will speak to her father. And when we return from Rages, we will celebrate the marriage, for I know that Raguel cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moses. But he shall be guilty of death, because the right of inheritance doth appertain to thee than to any other. Then the young man answered the angel, I have heard, brother Azarias, that this maid hath been given 7 men, who all died in the marriage chamber. And now I am the only son of my father, and I am afraid, lest if I go in unto her, I die, as the other before. For a wicked spirit loveth her, which hurteth nobody, but those which come unto her. Wherefore I also fear lest I die, and bring my father's and my mother's life, because of me, to the grave with sorrow, for they have no other son to bury them. Then the angel said unto him, Dost thou not remember the precepts which thy father gave thee, that thou shouldest marry a wife of thine own kindred? Wherefore hear me, O my brother, for she shall be given thee to wife, and make thou no reckoning of the evil spirit, for this same night shall she be given to thee in marriage. So the point I want to draw from all of this is verse 14. For I am the only son of my father, and I am afraid lest if I go in unto her, I die. And the other before, for a wicked spirit loveth her, which hurteth nobody, but those which come unto her. Wherefore I also fear lest I die, and bring my father and my mother's life because of me to the grave with sorrow, for they have no other son to bury them. So, as the scripture says, right, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother. He wasn't leaving his elderly parents who needed his assistance. Matter of fact, because I know when you go to chapter 5, or was that 7? She says that they are, there's a point where she says how important he is. Hold on, let me find that. Ah, here's the point. Let me just keep reading. Go back to chapter 5. Verse 14. This is Tobit speaking. So, but tell me, what thy wages shall I give thee? So they want to know, how much do we pay you for going with our son to Rages? But tell me, what wages shall I give thee? Wilt thou a drachm a day, and things necessary as to mine own son? So can I pay you and give you provisions for my son? Yea, moreover, if you return safe, I will add something to thy wages. So I'll give you more money if you bring them back safe. So they were well pleased. Then said he to Tobias, prepare thyself for the journey, and Elohim send you a good journey. And when his son had prepared all things for the journey, his father said, go thou with this man, and Elohim, which dwelleth in heaven, prosper your journey, and the angel of Elohim keep you company. So they went forth both, and the young man's dog with them. But Anna, his mother, wept, and said to Tobit, why hast thou sent away our son? Is he not the staff of our hand, in going in and out before us? Be not greedy to add money to money, but let it be as refuse in respect of our child. For that which the Lord hath given us to live with doth suffice us. Then said Tobit to her, take no care, my sister. He shall return in safety, and thine eyes shall see him. So he was going to get money from he was going to Rages to get money from the father of Edna, I believe it is. He was going to get money from Gable in Rages. He was having his son go to Rages to collect a debt owed to him, and his mom, Tobias' mom, his wife, Tobit's wife, is saying to him, "Don't. Why are you so worried about the money? Don't let this money get you caught up, and we lose our son, who is the staff of our hand, because he did everything. He helped them with everything. So for him to leave, it had to be for a good reason. But it was set up so that he would go to take this woman to be his wife. This is all going to make sense in a second. If not, if I'm not following me, right? Because remember, Christ said, "For this cause shall a man leave father and mother," is when he goes to cleave to his wife, because it's very crucial for the children to be at aid for the parents. Everybody's worried about Social Security. Why are you not just having your children take care of you? We're worried about some money coming from the government, who could squander the money or say, no, you can't get it. But because we cast our children out at a young age, now who's there to be with you in your old age? We're sending our children off at young age to college, and they go live their life, and it takes them wherever. Now here you are older, maybe even before you get old, you get sick. Your daughter, children are gone. Not because they married, but because you said they had to go spread their wings. Cliche of the world. Christ said, "For this cause shall a man leave father and mother." Now, why does that matter, right? Because as you saw in the video, these women are burdened down by debt, right? And they didn't leave to be with a husband. They just left to go chase the American dream, get education, and chase the money, right? $120,000 a year, and it's not enough. So if she makes $120,000 a year and it's not enough, what does the man that she is going to be with need to make? More than likely, he needs to also make $120,000 or more a year, right? She's not going to be with a man making $57,000 a year. And that matters because this is not the way things are supposed to be, right? When I met my wife, right, I met her coming out of college. All praises to the Most High. We met at a good time, right? She had not experienced the world yet, and me having been in the military and having been retired, I'm now trying. Okay, I'm looking for a wife. Who am I going to spend my life with? I meet her out of college. Well, she graduated. I went to her graduation in college. Okay. And when she comes to live with me, guess what? She doesn't have $120,000 worth of debt. She doesn't have children by other men. She doesn't have the weight, and she's not jaded by the world. And so I'm getting virtually, as far as society, as pure of a woman you can get. You know, from societal standpoint, she doesn't have all the debt that these women of today have. She's still virtually still pure, right? But what do people get today? You get a woman who has all this debt, and now you can't even really get together for love, right? You're not really getting together because y'all make each other feel good and you want to learn more about each other and spend the rest of your lives together because you have been living life, and I'm talking about women, have been living their lives in such a way that now it's not just about money. You need a particular amount of money out of a man. And you don't really get a delicate flower as the man. You get somebody who has already, maybe in some cases, I don't want to say ruined their life, but you get somebody who now has already lived the life, right? When a man gets a wife, she ought to just live according to his means. But because I'm talking about our women, have been coerced into entering the workforce, and you guys have been brainwashed into looking at being homemakers as oppressive labor, right? That now you go out and work like the man, and now you get into manly stuff, manly debt. And now you can't even rich women never get they don't typically get a lesser money making man. They want a man that makes even more money. But then what does the man that makes even more money want? Right? If your husband, whoever that is, makes $57,000 a year, why can't you live a $57,000 a year lifestyle? How meager or lavish it may be, right? You should have been able to live that lifestyle with him as he took care of you, but you had the taste of the world. And so you think you deserve the finer things in life, and you've been taught that. And then we have had music. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no, right? And so you're conditioned to look at the man as not if he's just taking care of himself, but now he's got to be all of this. He's got to make back NBA money. And so now the way marriage is looked at is now tainted. The man doesn't get a virgin. The woman wants all these things that are unrealistic. And you end up in a position that you start chasing this imaginary person that does not exist. And then you think that working is going to be the thing that you think working is going to be the thing that we think working is going to be the thing that is what you're supposed to aspire to. Whole time, a psyop has been ran on us to keep us from having as many children. Because if you're not married, you're not having children, right? Planned parent. I mean, y'all know that. Y'all, y'all, y'all don't need me to run the spiel, but you know what's been done. Planned parent, working, go get a degree. These are things that a man is supposed to have been doing to do what? So he could provide for a family. But now we're out there competing against the very woman we're supposed to be providing for. And then the woman that makes the same amount as you make $57,000 to take care of a family. But the woman that makes $57,000 thinks that's not enough. Whole time, our grandparents, whole time our grandparents raised a family off $16,000 a year. Now, of course, the economics of this world of our country has changed, but it was doable. What changed? The women's liberation movement assisted in the reformatting of the mind of our women, right? A woman should just live according to the means of the man. Of course, this probably sounds crazy to you today, because what you talking about? You got $100,000 college degrees. You drive a Benz. You live in a 6 bedroom house with no children or 2 kids. And so now what do you think you need? Millionaire. And so had you been kept a virgin, right? Had you been kept a virgin, had you been sheltered from the world, you will be able to be presented to a worthy man as a virgin, and you could live according to his means, and everything his $60,000 a year earning self shows you will be the world. But instead, our fathers have taught their daughters to not need a man, to be strong and independent. All the while, the women of the other nations come here and they have their husbands, and they're allowed to take care of them, and they respect them. But what's been done to us is we've been hoodwinked. Revelations 12:9 says the dragon and the devil, which is called Satan, has deceived the whole world into believing what? Women are supposed to be independent. Sure, you can do things on your own. Are you created to be that way? Is a cub created to fend for itself? No, it's meant to be up under a mother till time comes that they leave the house or the den. And we don't have that. When I met my wife, she lived according to my means. And we grew. We grew. We grew. We had children. We grew. She still lives according to my means. And that's enough for her. But our people, our women particularly, have been fed a lie. And we think that valuing a job is. What does that do? That's great now while you're 30, 20 something. When you get older, as you get older, or if you get sick and you don't have a family, and don't get me wrong, I understand some people not everybody's gonna have a husband or a family, but we are supposed to be preparing for the other over the hill, right? Over the hill. When you have children and family and loved ones. I mean, shucks, I don't want to make this video longer than it needs to be, but I pray that whatever time you sisters have left, that you look at it and realize, okay, this is what I should be doing. It's not too late to like he said, get up under a righteous brother. I'm gonna say righteous man, and take his lead and live according to his means and support him, right? Wherever he be at, right? Even not saying you got to go quit your job and just get up under a man, but understand there's more value in a man than just his paycheck, right? But the idea of chasing the bag has been weaponized. Y'all, we ain't our sisters. You've never been oppressed by us. We've all been oppressed together. It's just that now you all have been weaponized because women are susceptible to doctrines. Women are very susceptible to doctrines. You see that in Genesis with Eve and the serpent. And when a woman, when a word gets in a woman's ear, she's all ears. She listening. Let a girl come and say, "Girl, I seen your man such and such." What? You seen him where? You listening? Women are very susceptible to other information. And the information in this case has been detrimental to our building of families and the way we build families. Because men with money will get with a woman with no money, but women with money want a man with money. Women with millions don't go get a man who works at Burger King, but a man who makes millions will go get a man at Burger King. Go get a woman at Burger King. Excuse me, Slovakia. So then, what is the point of money if when a woman makes more money, the more money she makes, the more money she wants the man to make? Typically, you might be the exception, sister. You might be the exception. We're not talking about you, right? But the more money you make, the more money you want your man to make. But then, what does that man that makes that type of money want? Why is it that the man is willing to go get a woman who don't make much of anything and take care of her, but the woman who makes much won't go get a man to take care of? What's the point of your money if you're not going to do that then? Because that was really meant for the man. Excuse me, my children are all over the place. That was really meant for the man.
The patio door has been opened.
And he would take care of the woman with that.
Motion detected at the rear garage side sentry.
But may we get back to basics. I pray we do. I see and I hear some women are waking up to realizing the sham. Like people say, some women are saying, "Yo, I don't want to be independent no more. I want a man. I want to sit down and shut up. I want to wear matching outfits. I want to submit to a man." Right? If you haven't seen my video that I did on polygamy, monogamy, and polygyny, check that out. This could be fixed. Our situation can be fixed because realizing where we're at and what we might want out of life is key, right? If you're not supposed to come to a man with this is aside from being a widow. Aside from being a widow, you're not supposed to come to a man with children by another man, especially another living man. That man should be had died in the war or something. Because you're supposed to be with the man. You're supposed to be with the man that you have children with. You're supposed to be with the man you have children with. You're not supposed to collect children and collect child after child after child and then hope to find a good man. You're supposed to be having children with your husband, the man you have submitted yourself to and you trust his leadership. That is who you're supposed to be having children with. A man is supposed to get the woman untouched by the world. Even if that means she's maintained her virginity to 35, 40 years old, whatever the case may be. Of course, we know that's like next to impossible in this day and age, when casual benevolence has been made commonplace. But a woman is not supposed to be coming to a man with all this baggage. How can you live according to his means if you have all this baggage? He has no kids, but you have 3 kids, and now you expect him to take care of all 3 of you? No, the world was never this way before. But we've made promiscuity the cool thing. We made R&B songs about it, rap songs about it, and now what are our people holding? What do we have now? Besides a bunch of I shouldas. A bunch of I shouldas, I wish I's. I shouldas and I wish I's. That's what we see today. But we can fix this. We can actually fix this right now with our children. We can fix this with our children. If you can, well, I'm not tell you what to do with your children. We can fix this with our children and the mind we instill in them, right? And the way we protect their innocence. You protect their innocence as long as possible. And this is one of the reasons why The scripture says a man that has daughters doesn't sleep at night, watching after them, caring for them, because you're trying to protect their virtue as long as possible, that you can present them as a chaste virgin to their husband, right? Who you've proven. Nobody should be out there just can talk to your daughter and she decide what she. No, you prove that man that she's gonna be with. That's a whole nother topic. Um, Hope this has been beneficial. Let me know your thoughts. Um, I just see so much in society and where we should have been, I see where we went wrong. You know what I mean? Again, this is Brother Bethel's two cents. Yeah, that's my time. Shalom.